Hey guys, James here again. This is gonna be what if Naruto was the ultimate god of war. Naruto's gonna be basically taking references of not references. You can be taking attributes from multiple gods of war, such as like Tyr from I believe Norse mythology. Then there's Kratos, who's from Greek mythology, but then it was mainly Ares within Kratos is also main character, so he's the god of war. It's like Ares, Tyr, Guan Yu, Kratos. I would also say probably Hachiman. There's also another one. I forgot his name. Guan Yu, Gutterzil. There's a lot of them, but yeah. So he'll take references from a lot of them. So there's like the superhuman strength or speed or whatever. But yeah, Naruto's born, and just like Kratos has that tattoo, that red stripe tattoo. Naruto be born with a birthmark that looks just like that goes all over his face, but his hair hides the one on his head. But Naruto's hair is also, it'd be very white. And Minato doesn't know the one person in Konoha with white hair is probably Kakashi. Kakashi has no interest in Kushina. Kushina has no interest in Kakashi. So he doesn't know that Naruto might just have a birth defect. So yeah. And you can sense the chakra in him and Naruto are similar, and the chakra in Kushina and Naruto is similar as well. So this is his kid, definitely. But yeah, but Naruto looks nothing like Minato because of his birthmark, his hair, and both of his eyes are golden. Like, they're golden. So, yeah. Well, with this, Naruto would basically, he'd be abnormally big for a baby. Like, the size most toddlers are, like when they're like 1 or 2 years old. Not 1 or 2. Probably just like when they're 1 year old. Baby Naruto was born that size. So, yeah. But Naruto would also, be inhumanly strong. As when Obito would actually grab Naruto grabbed Obito by the cloak and almost pulled Obito into a full flip. But with this, Obito suddenly almost grabbed by Minato. Now Obito would be able to go intangible, but with that, Minato was able to grab baby Naruto and pick up Kushina and run off. So yeah. Now with this, we go on to when it comes down to Obito versus Minato. Kushina was at home baby Naruto. It also Naruto was really strong as he stood up as a baby and pushed the walls of the whole bed thing they're in down and just walked over Minato. Minato's questioning how baby Naruto can even walk at this age. Like, he was born like 15 minutes ago. He can already walk. So yeah, but Minato would question it and rub Naruto's head and tell him to take care of his mom. She's pretty weak right now. Then baby Naruto sat at the door and waited for Minato to come back. Eventually, Obito rushed into the house, only to get grabbed by his hook by baby Naruto again and be pulled down, and he's pulled right flat onto his face with his mask shattering almost. And says, "How's a baby this damn strong?" As he jumped away through kunai baby Naruto. Baby Naruto just honestly put his hand up and slapped the kunai to the ground. But eventually Minato was able to defeat Obito still. Like the whole Rasengan thing. But Minato has a lot more chakras, Obito is a lot more weakened. So when he sees the way the Nine Tails, he can just use he can seal half the chakra away. Half the chakra is sealed inside Naruto, the other half inside Kushina to keep her alive. With this, Minato did die from chakra exhaustion, and Kushina, shockingly, actually made Hokage right after Minato died. She's the first female Hokage. She's the 5th Hokage. But yeah. And with this, Naruto has Kushina. But for the funeral, Kushina's holding baby Naruto. They're questioning if that's really a baby. And Kushina's even questioning if she gave birth to a baby and not a toddler. Because Naruto could already walk and not talk, but he could already walk at 15 minutes old. Then learned how to speak 2 weeks later. He was a very progressive child. But yeah. But now with this, we go on to probably just Naruto and Kushina. Well, Kushina actually has Kushina. She could read through the scroll ceiling to train, as she's not as strong as Minato was, so she didn't defend Konoha as good as him. If she were to read this, she thinks she could grow decently powerful. And Yushin says, "Yeah, you're Hokage, you can reach from the scroll ceiling, just don't use reanimation jutsu and don't attempt wood release. No one can do that. If you do try, you may kill yourself from chakra exhaustion." And Kushina would nod, and basically agreed to all of Yushin's rules. Even Jiraiya came back to teach her Rasengan. And Kushina basically learned everything that Minato knew in the scroll ceiling. She even learned flying Raijin. And with her chakra reserve, she even surpassed Minato. Kushina currently is strongest Hokage around. Only thing is, well, she can't use all the abilities perfectly. She's not as good as flying Raijin as Miyato is. But well, with her superior chakra reserve, she can just advance her Sengen a lot faster. But Drago does see baby Naruto and realize how freakishly big he is. Like Naruto was 1 year old, and Jiraiya thought he was like 5. So yeah. But Naruto can already talk in full form sentences already, so kind of weird. He even eats food like he's a grown man. But yeah, he has the appetite of a full grown man, and eats one. But we went to Naruto when he's 13. So everyone knows his mom is Kushina, and knows his dad was Miyato. But also when it came to the Uchiha being mistreated, Kushina actually being friends with Mikoto, the Uchiha are not wiped out there. They have a pretty good reputation. Even Kushina with her temper stood up to Danzo, and Danzo was scared, had the hell scared out of him. He's the one where he let the Uchiha keep their place in Konoha. Even Kushina didn't believe the Uchiha did this. But because there's so many council votes, they made the Uchiha move, and Mikoto was told that, and then he felt like he even believed it because Kushina was a good person. She's a very wonderful woman. She's a good woman. I most referred to Kushina like she was 5. I don't know why. But yeah. So with this, we'll eventually try to get their place back in Konoha, and they're not wiped out. So yeah. But now with this, well, Naruto is also a lot stronger. Kushina somehow taught him how to use, he somehow was able to use adamantine chains. It's honestly just because he made chains out of chakra. These are not Uzumaki chains. These are Naruto chains. He saw what his mom did. Then molded the chakra to the point where he shot out chains that are double the size of hers. And Naruto's chakra reserves are basically infinite. Because, well, half the Nine Tails, that's already stacking. And he actually got the, I would say, there's the yin and yang half. Yang would be the more, I guess, the more unreasonable side. Naruto's got the yang half, but Naruto's also really intelligent and very, I guess he can be he's a lot like a philosopher. And, well, with his intelligence and his aura and just how he acts, well, Kurama kind of compares him to a bit more intimidating Hagoromo. Just Naruto's purposely intimidating if someone deserves to be, well, hit or something. But yeah. So we go on to probably just Naruto being 13. Naruto at 13 years old, actually, well, he had memories of just the other gods of war's life. Guan Yu, Hachiman, Kratos, Ares. He also found out Ares was killed by Kratos. He remembered a lot of things. Even trained using all the memories he got from them to try to get more powerful. So yeah. Yeah. So Naruto basically at the age of 13 will have super strength, and his strength is actually able to hurl 200,000 pounds, like nothing. So that's around 100 tons, I believe. He's super durable, and he has blunt force has no effect on him, not at all. This man can be hit over the head by just. Remember, the Sentinels were trying to stomp on Naruto. He wouldn't be affected at all. Blunt force doesn't work on him, kind of like Luffy. He has enhanced durability to chakra-based attacks, but then also he's kind of immune to cold, electricity, and fire or heat itself. He can run 100,000 times faster than lightning can. It's not. You guys wondering if that's like 20, not 27, it's like 30 billion. It's like 30 billion miles an hour. 30 billion. Maybe like 30 billion. Let me check. Yeah, Naruto is closing in on light speed without even using chakra to enhance his body. Then he has super agility to the point where he can jump clean over Konoha, and that's not he can do that half asleep. He can just jump clean over Konoha on 1 foot, half asleep. He has unlimited stamina, which is why he has infinite chakra. One of the reasons. And his senses are so enhanced that it's basically precognition at this point. Instantaneous healing, Nine Tails, Uzumaki, and he's also basically a god. So, yeah. And then Naruto can barely age. The moment he hits the age of 20, he will stop aging for hundreds of years. At the best, he may grow a small beard, and that's it. Also, aging can't kill him. So, if you were like use some sort of time effect, like it would be impressive at how much he ages. Very little. Like he won't age whatsoever. But yeah. Also, he's abnormally tall. Like at the age of 13, he's like 5'8". There's no reason for that to happen. I'm sure at 13 at the best I was like 5'6". So Naruto's massive. And he can absorb chakra. He can summon tornadoes, earthquakes, and voids of darkness. He's a master at wind, lightning, fire, basically all chakra natures. He has ice release. He can somewhat control time on a small scale. He can control light. He can control souls. He can summon souls from like hell. Actually, not even hell. Like it's like kind of just like from the Reaper itself. He can shoot souls from the Reaper. And, like him and the Reaper can have like a pact thing going on without him knowing it. Because the Reaper acknowledges Naruto as like another god, it's willing to help Naruto. And he also can control darkness. He's immune to genjutsu. He can breathe underwater. This means he can't drown. He can create genetic clones. Like these clones are close to his level, and they don't take any chakra whatsoever. They don't take up any energy either. Like you can just make clones that are about as strong as him. When he jumps in the air, he can also glide for around a mile, and that's about it. He's master hand-to-hand combat as name like a Japanese martial art that was around like 500 years ago, and Naruto has probably mastered that. He's a master at any weapon you give him. And he also uses two swords. One looks like a long sword, and the other just looks like a basic katana. But one blade, the long sword has the ability to basically if you infuse chakra into it, well, the blade will turn that shade, and then it can just kind of slice. If it slices, like say you infuse earth chakra into it and you slice the air, it'll deadass just send out a giant slice of like diamond, where the blade will be as hard as diamond. And the slice of diamond that will come out will basically cut through anything. Or if you do a wind, the blade is a point where it becomes so thin that it's basically invisible. The katana has a very similar ability, but kind of has like the abilities of Kukiri Bocho as well, where if it's broken, you can just use blood to rebuild it. But yeah, then he also has chains are on his hands, and he can just infuse those with fire. That's what he mainly does, fire or ice. He's very intelligent. He's smarter than most people in Konoha. One person probably outmatch him is himself. So yeah. He has basically an impenetrable and invincible will. So, yeah. He also has Berserk mode, which is like him going into a Nine Tails mode, but he does that by will. And he can control your fear and his own fear at the same time. He's weirdly good looking for his age. So, yeah. And, like I said before, he's a philosopher. But, yeah. In the academy, he graduates at the age of 13, even though he only graduated because he wanted to stay in the academy with his Konoha 9 friends. Well, not counting him, it's Konoha 8. But yeah. But now with this, he's still on Team 7 with Sasuke and Sakura. And, well, Kushina did realize how little some of the girls in the academy were actually progressing. She told Hiyashi to up Hinata's training, but make sure that he treats her like a daughter, too. Hiyashi wouldn't actually dare disobey Kushina. She's kind of terrifying with her temper. Even some of the academy girls, their training was just upped a bit because she realized there was a lack in their power compared to the boys. But now all the girls can compare to most of the boys in their class. Unless Tenten, who's on a team with monsters like Lee and Neji, and Sakura on his team with monsters like Naruto and Sasuke. Well, not even Sasuke is a monster. Well, Sasuke has a Sharingan already, but he can be really strong for his age. But yeah. So there's Kakashi. Kakashi is also Kushina's advisor. So, and the main reason that Kakashi's teaching Team 7, one, Sakura has the greatest potential. He's also Naruto's bodyguard. And Sasuke's Uchiha Prince. And Itachi and Chisui can't be his teacher all the time because they're still in Lianbu. And so this is the main reason Kakashi is their teacher despite being Kushina's advisor. So Kakashi didn't want it until Kushina basically told the reason why Kakashi is her advisor. So, yeah. Honestly, the only reason is that Kakashi's like her only bit of family she has left, besides Naruto. And he felt the same. He felt the same way about her. But yeah. Also, currently Kushina is the only female Kage, or besides Mei, who's recently came about. But before that, she was the only female Kage. The Hokage, just Kage in general. But now with this, we go into Team 7, and who will share likes and dislikes. Not just he likes basically, everyone. His dislikes consist of everyone who'd believe it should be all for one, basically who puts everyone above themselves. People who disrespect hard work and say that talent is all that matters. He's been Neji before and beat the hell out of him just because he can. Because Neji's being a bit a dick to Lee and he beat him up for it. And then people who refuse to acknowledge others because of their position in life. Like, if say, for example, someone could have been the feudal lord and they refuse to acknowledge a peasant as a person. He hates that. So, yeah. This is kind of just how he feels. But now we move on to just, well, Sasuke saying his likes. Well, he likes his clan and he likes the village. His dislikes. He feels the same way as Naruto. Also, Naruto's goal is honestly just to surpass his mother, even though he doesn't he knows he already did, but he won't let anyone know he did that. This probably just surpass my mother, and my dream is to take over her position as Hokage. And then Sasuke would say his goal is to beat Naruto. Then his dream is to become the clan head of the Uchiha. And his goal is to beat Naruto because Naruto has proved to be a lot harder to beat than Itachi. And Sasuke has never beat Itachi once, not even got close to it. When him fighting Naruto, he not sure by right next to him hit him in the side of the neck so hard that he passed out. So yeah. And then Sakura would basically say her dream is to become the next female Hokage. She can say she can be after Naruto or can be before him, but she wants to be the next female Hokage. Kushina is a very big inspiration to a lot of the girls in the academy. Yeah, her dream and goal is to become the next female Hokage, or her dreams become the next female Hokage, while her goal is to give birth to strong kids. She wants strong kids. And she blushes as she just mumbles, preferably Naruto or Sasuke. It's kids. Notice this, nothing to happen, Sakura. Sasuke says, agreed. Sakura sighs, saying, I didn't know you guys could hear me. But yeah. And then after that, we go on to just her likes being, well, most of the academy students. She doesn't like Ino though, so or Kiba really. Oh, they just set out, and now we go on to the bell test the next day. Now, when Naruto was told not to eat, he already could tell Kakashi was lying, and then Sasuke could as well. Sakura didn't get it too well, but she assumed that Kakashi was going to put Sasuke and Naruto on edge. So she ate breakfast just in case that like if you were to vomit or something, she could get on Kakashi and hold him back, not another team. But the realized that Kakashi had arrived late. But when Naruto and Sasuke arrived, they arrived 10 minutes before Kakashi did, and they had they're not stuffed, their food settled, but they still ate. Yeah. But now the bell test would begin with him explaining how it works. Naruto immediately meets with Sakura, telling him to jump in the woods, hold back Kakashi for a bit, and they should know when's a good opportunity. He nods him to the forest to let Kakashi to start. Naruto and Kakashi begin fighting with taijutsu, and they can barely get a touch on him. They can barely grab him, or Kakashi can barely grab him. Naruto eventually gripped Kakashi by the collar, then threw him into the air, and then had thrown his chains up as they began to coat in flames. But he began whipping flames around, and they began slapping Kakashi basically like in the arms and his back. So then Naruto pulls the chain to the side, and they bind Kakashi, but he coats them in ice, freezing Kakashi's arms to the side. So Kakashi then moves into a log. Naruto knew this as the log is frozen and slammed it down where Kakashi's hiding. And Kakashi would have to dodge as the icy log would basically crush the tree completely. Then Naruto begins swinging around a lot faster before actually just throwing it right at Kakashi. Once he threw it, Kakashi's actually able to dodge it, but Naruto appeared right next to him, grabbing the log, and slamming into Kakashi's side. And when he hit his side, he just coughed and almost threw up. Yeah. But with that, immediately, we would actually see, yeah. Wait, pause. Yeah, so once Kakashi on the ground was holding his side, Naruto and Sakura would dash by, both grabbing one of the bells, and Kakashi says, good, they pass. And he asks Naruto if he was basically just the sacrificial pawn. Naruto nodded, saying, yeah, basically, but he was also just the one that told him that he's going to be the sacrificial pawn. So, yeah. But now with this, we go on to, I'm going to say, we can just go on to, I'd say, different movie missions like the next month and a half. Sasuke's training consisted of mainly just just returning to Itachi, Shisui, and Fugaku. even Mikoto a bit, as Mikoto is a Jonin with a Sharingan, so she'd be good training either way. But then in a month and a half, Sasuke has two Sharingan. Naruto trained Kushina a bit to actually learn how to use Uzumaki chains a bit better. It's not just chains weren't golden, they're more just a very bright. They're basically just bright golden, or they're, well, not golden, but they're bright red, or they're just pure white. So, yeah. Hold up. Yeah, so those chains are mainly just like bright white or dark red. Or bright red, I mean. And Sakura has mainly been training with Kakashi, so. He's been teaching her Genjutsu and basic Taijutsu. Well, not just also been teaching her how to use weapons. So, yeah. By the time that comes to Tazuna wanting to actually have the mission, well, Kushina does give it to Team 7 because they're the strongest team around, and plus of the team right in front of her. So she looks at Naruto, asking him if he's ready, and he would nod. Naruto looks just like this. It's just the green jacket the green Jonin jacket is gonna be replaced with more of like just like an orange jacket, I'd say. Or you just remove the green jacket in general, but yeah. Also take away Sage Mode. So yeah. And then Sasuke kind of looks how he does, I would say, probably in the Chunin exams. And then Sakura just kind of has the look she has in the beginning of Shippuden, just a bit shorter and not the monster strength. She's really strong either way, but still. But with Tazuna, I actually feel safe with this team. They all give off a really strong aura. So yeah. And with this, he does go on to basically, we just go on to the right of the Demon Brothers should be the next important thing. Now, the moment they saw the puddle, Team 7 already knew it was Genjutsu, and Kakashi knew his team was smart enough to call out a Genjutsu. So Naruto basically immediately hit saw a puddle, and what he did is just, put his hand on the ground, and then began making the ground shake heavily. As the ground was shaking, eventually the ground began crumbling under the Demon Brothers, and then Sakura jumped forward, pulling out kind of like a short sword, and stabbed it into basically the hip of one of the Demon Brothers, and then twisted it, and kind of just basically destroyed the bone, and one of the bones in the hip that allowed them to move properly. Well, Sasuke just jumped and kicked the other one right in the face so hard that everyone could hear a skull crack. So yeah. So with this, we can just move on. Probably just to Demon Brothers being interrogated and getting all the info they needed. So, once they have all their info that they need, we go on to the Demon Brothers. We go on to Zabuza and Haku, that whole thing. Since you need to go to Zabuza and Haku, honestly, it wasn't anything too important, I would say, because when the mist rolls around, Naruto just inhaled all the mist and blew back out of Zabuza at the speed of a bullet. So when Zabuza basically had just thrown the blade at them, Naruto blew out the mist. The mist blew apart the blade with how hard that Naruto exhaled it. The blade destroyed now. Naruto appeared and just grabbed the hilt and threw it at Zabuza. Zabuza barely dodged it, but as he dodged it, Naruto just appeared behind him, grabbing it and slashed Zabuza across the back, and Zabuza fell to the ground, holding his back. Haku tried to appear in front of Naruto and cut him with the senbone. Plus, Sasuke and Sakura both grabbed Haku's arms, and Kakashi would kick Haku in the back of the head and knock out Haku. Then Naruto was going for Zabuza before hitting him in the back so hard that Zabuza kind of just had the wind knocked out of him, and the amount of time the wind was knocked out of him, he passed out. So, yeah. So now we can probably just move on to just Naruto having Zabuza and Haku held captive in the land of waves. But Zabuza basically accepts Naruto training with a sword and realizes how hard Naruto was training. And he acknowledges that Naruto's a better swordsman than him. But yeah. So yeah, but Zabuza basically tell Haku that Naruto seems like a better swordsman than him. And Naruto takes his training shirtless, and Zabuza can tell that Naruto's body, is covered in scars, honestly just from Naruto training with his own clones. There's a clone that seems like he was impaled by a very large blade. Kushina hasn't seen the scar because Naruto doesn't wander around shirtless, but yeah. She's seen very few of his scars, but she's seen a few of them on his arm from him training, but they heal pretty fast. She chops up to the Nine Tails. Eventually, Zabuza would speak up, asking Naruto how he has a scar like that when seems to be barely even a kid. And Naruto basically tells Zabuza that he trains with his clones, and his clones can use really strong jutsu on him. Zabuza asks how strong the clones are, and says they're as strong as I am. That's why I have so many scars from them. This just makes Zabuza chuckle. Zabuza actually asked Naruto to spar with him, and Naruto agreed. Naruto then threw Zabuza a Susan's blade, and Naruto ends up basically holding out a single kunai, telling Zabuza this is all he needs. Let Naruto and Zabuza begin sparring, and Zabuza can't get near Naruto without Naruto pushing him back with just a simple slice of a kunai. Eventually, Naruto spun around and just nailed Zabuza the kick to the jaw, knocking him out again. Not knocking him out, but kind of just dazing him heavily. So yeah. But, yeah, we can just move forward to probably just Naruto and Zabuza getting on pretty well, and then Naruto and Haku also getting on pretty well. But, yeah, Haku, this one is more of a female, because I'm just going to say that. Because Naruto was able to use Ice Release, and Haku taught Naruto how to do that as well. Like, Haku taught Naruto to use Jutsu, but Naruto already had a few of his own, which is just him creating ice weapons or ice barriers. So, now we can move on to Team 7 when they are, probably just when like, Gacho's men arrive. But Naruto was able to convince Zabuza, and Haku to come to his side. It's not honestly because he was smart enough to do so. Alright, so, Gacho's men arrive. Zabuza and Haku were actually proceeded to join the Team 7 side. And, well, Gacho revealed never planned on playing Zabuza, and Zabuza says he knew that. It took him a while to see it, though. Plains Zabuza appeared right behind Gacho and slashed his head clean off. Zabuza's speed had increased so much because of Naruto's training. Well, Naruto looked down at Gacho's men with his golden eyes, and they began scanning all of them. With that, he had seen basically all of their, every single one of their weak points. And he appeared behind them all with a long sword drawn towards them, and when he appeared behind them all, a lot of them fell to the ground, cut in half, or cut to pieces. Then, Sasuke and Sakura both saw this. Combined, Sakura cast again Jutsu, while Sasuke just used a very strong Fireball Jutsu. He actually had to watch how easily Team 7 dismantled these many grown men, like it was nothing. Well, for Naruto, it wasn't shocking. He's the size of a grown man. But, yeah. But now we move forward roughly about, I would say... Yeah, we can move forward about, I'd say... Probably just to the shooting exams. Konohamaru and Naruto are still friends, by the way. So, yeah. But with Hiru's not really being too much, I guess, not being bothered by much at all, actually. He's just a Konoha elder now. He's being trained... Konohamaru's being trained by Asuma, not Asuma, by Hiruzen, decent amount. So when Kankuro grabbed Konohamaru was actually able to not break Kankuro, but was also able to put Kankuro in an arm breaker, then escape easily and run away. He ran into Naruto and called him Big Bro Naruto. But then suddenly, Kankuro appeared from the Naruto and hit him in the face, telling him, "Control that brat of yours." He's trying to punch Naruto in the face. Only for Kankuro to be punched right in the gut so hard that he threw up. So yeah. So, Kankuro just punched in the gut so hard that he passed out, threw up and passed out. Naruto then walked past Temari and Gaara, but flexed his bloodlust at Gaara so hard that Gaara almost fainted. But on Naruto brought Konohamaru back to Hiruzen, telling Hiruzen that Konohamaru picked a fight with some kid from the Hidden Sand. He described what the boy looked like, and Hiruzen says, "Oh, that's the Kasekage's son. Well, one of the sons. He has two sons and a girl." He says, "Yeah, he met them both. One of them's a Jinchuriki, isn't he?" He's nodded, saying, "The One-Tails." And Naruto just smirked, saying, "Well, I guess that means my tail will be stronger," and Hiruzen would nod. With eventually we go on to Team 7 as they walk into the hall still, and Rock Lee tries to punch at Naruto, punch at Naruto this time. But he's just punched stopped by something, and he looks up, seeing what stopped his punch, seeing Naruto holding out a single finger. Rock Lee's eyes widen, and he began shaking a bit. until he suddenly kicked her in the stomach and sent flying into Neji. Neji caught Rock Lee, and Rock Lee is basically told, "Don't fight Naruto," by Neji. Rock Lee doesn't question why, but Neji says, because he's never beaten Naruto a single time, even if he went all out. And Naruto hasn't gone all out even once against anyone. He knows this for a fact. And he doesn't want Rock Lee to be that unfortunate victim that would die by that hand. And Rock Lee needs Gates to beat Neji, so if Neji is telling Rock Lee this, that he's never won at all, he knows that no, he can't win against Naruto. With this, we move on to Team 7, and them basically taking the written test. And Naruto is basically smarter than Minato was as an adult. He passed the written test in just like 3 minutes tops, and turned in the paper. As he walked by, no one saw him just basically speed blitz Ibiki and take the cheat sheet and make copies of it for Sasuke and Sakura by just using jutsu. He kind of made clones of the paper, then passed them to Sasuke and Sakura sneakily as he left. Then they passed immediately. As far as the bottom question needed to be blank. And it basically turned in the answer sheet. They should send the paper along to the answer sheet to Ibiki. And Ibiki just smirked, not wanting to know how they got it. But probably was Naruto, with how fast and strong he supposedly is. But keep in mind, Naruto being 100,000 times faster than lightning, he can move faster than Kakashi Chidori 100,000 times over. Kakashi can cut a lightning bolt in half, which he can probably move faster than lightning itself with using Chidori. Yeah, Naruto at this point can probably just kick a lightning bolt in half before it even gets close to the floor or close to the ground. So yeah. But we can move on to Team 7 when they are, I would say, probably just the Force of Death. When they walk in, Naruto says he can send a few teams, and then told Sasuke where to go to chase the team with the nearest scroll, as he remembered where they went. Sasuke remembered in full speed ahead, with Naruto and Sasuke just following him, but from a distance. And Naruto having Sasuke do this on his own, because just to see how strong Sasuke's gotten. So, yeah. And Sasuke can train his Zabuza to learn how to use a sword a bit better, because Itachi hasn't been able to train him the whole time. But yeah. And Sasuke has been using a katana and cut down this team pretty easily. He didn't kill them, but still hit slacks on the line. He the scroll and they walked away. Sasuke has a few cuts, and he's healed. When they come across the Hidden Rain team, only for Sakura to place them under again Jutsu, that's their own B rank. And Naruto inhaled as much as possible before exhaling a giant breath of flames that engulfed a whole acre of the forest. And the whole acre basically just turned that team to dust. So yeah. That Naruto ended up walking away, with Sakura being amazed at Naruto's firepower. Sasuke can basically confirm that Naruto's firepower is greater than Sasuke's, than himself, Itachi, Shisui, and Fugaku's combined, even his mother combined. So yeah. But Naruto was smirking, saying he was holding back so he didn't burn Konoha to the ground. And if that's really true, which it is for Naruto, he can just use one breath to burn Konoha to the ground. It's shocking, but yeah. They get to the center tower with Naruto speed blitzing there. Halfway through, they're stopped by a giant snake. Naruto kicked the snake in the head so hard that he blew apart like half the body. But we landed, suddenly Kunai right at his head and caught it. Then he had basically just been using his golden eyes to find out who threw it. His golden eyes give him any ability that he would need for the moment in battle. Honestly, these eyes have no limit on power. They kind of do whatever Naruto would need. But Naruto suddenly appeared right in front of Orochimaru and began punching him in the face over and over again at rapid speeds. We basically just pulling a Star Platinum on him, and that's really it. Sasuke and Sakura walk inside, telling Naruto, as he just tells him that he can solve this himself. But once Orochimaru was on the ground just coughing up blood, really able to get back up, Naruto put a void of darkness over him, and that void of darkness began crushing Orochimaru with the force of a black hole. Orochimaru was able to use Manda to summoning and told Manda to reverse summon himself back to the Riichi Cave, and Manda did just that immediately. And for Manda in there, and Manda's barely alive. And so is Orochimaru. But Orochimaru ricocheted himself and began healing Manda himself, apologizing to him, saying he didn't expect that to be that powerful, that Manda almost died too. But yeah, then with that, Team 7 had passed the exam in roughly around 26 minutes, so Yeah. Not even 26 minutes. They can speed this anyone they want because Naruto can move that fast. So I'd say past the exam probably at 16 minutes at the most. No, not fight with Naruto took like 10 minutes. So and they took 6 minutes to destroy another team and then took like 40 seconds to kill another one. But yeah. Now with this we go on to the 5 days of rest where they eventually do need to fight in the whole exam thing. So we have Sasuke versus Yoroi. And Sasuke had too much Sharingan and no curse mark had to abuse Yoroi. So Sasuke beat him into the dirt in seconds. And then Shino versus Zaku. Shino did that easily, and Zaku's arms were still in peak condition, but Shino was just too overpowered for that. So yeah. Plus, Naruto is a strong leader in the academy, encouraging everyone to train a lot harder than they do. So Shino's stronger than Canon, so he beat Zaku the same way he did in Canon with the same amount of ease. Then Sakura versus Tsurugi goes the exact same way. Sakura versus Ino. Sakura violated Ino in the worst way possible. Like, the fight started, Sakura kneed Ino right in the chin, and then sent her flying, and then began beating Ino into the dirt until Ino submitted. Then Tenen versus Temari goes the exact same way. Shikamaru versus Keen. Like I said before, everyone in the academy trained a lot harder because there's Naruto's influence, but also a bit of Kushina's as well. So with this, Shikamaru's also a bit stronger. When it came to Genjutsu, he already knew he could just counter it immediately with just his own mental ability. When he placed on Genjutsu, the Genjutsu didn't work on him. And honestly, he grabbed a Senbone, he grabbed the string and pulled the Senbone back. But then when he swung it, head slash Keen right across one of her eyes, and the blood from it had splashed her in another eye. That Shikamaru ran full speed ahead and kicked her in the chest so hard that she had passed out. That Shikamaru won. Kiba versus Naruto. The one Kiba ran at Naruto Fang over Fang, Naruto holds his hand out and then twisted it at a certain angle, and Kiba was sent flying into the wall so hard he passed out. So yeah. Hinata versus Neji. It's a pretty hard fight, but Neji also doesn't know that Hinata may be on his level, so he doesn't think take her lightly either. And Hinata thought the same way with Neji. They may be equal in power, but so she can't take it easy on him. And with that, the fight had been really hard, but still. Hinata still lost, but Neji ended the fight barely being able to move anything except for one arm, which he used to finish off the fight. But yeah. Then Rock Lee versus Gaara goes the exact same way as in canon. Then Choji versus Dosu. Choji beat Dosu, but barely. He didn't beat him. It ended in a draw with how exhausted Choji was. So, yeah, so the fight went. So, yeah. But now we go on to probably just Team 7, and I would say, just Team 7 when they need to go for one of the training. Jiraiya told Kushina and Konoha to train Naruto, and she said that Naruto is probably maybe as strong as most Jonin, probably Kakashi or Jiraiya himself. But Naruto can always get stronger, so yeah. Jiraiya came to Konoha to train Naruto, and Naruto already knew who Jiraiya was. They've met before. And Naruto kind of considered Jiraiya a grandfather, so yeah. But Jiraiya tried to teach Naruto summoning, and Naruto summoned like just basically I'd say, Yeah, Naruto can summon a giant hellhound, saying this is a summoning. He also calls it Kratos. And Jiraiya says, "Okay, then you don't need to summon frogs, I guess." Naruto says, "No, I can summon frogs too, if you teach me that." So Jiraiya tells Naruto how to summon toads, and Naruto has basically he has Gamaken, Gamakichi, and his dog Kratos, or his giant wolf thing Kratos. Then that only took Naruto a total of 5 minutes. So yeah. Then Jiraiya tried to teach Naruto Sengon, but Naruto says that he said he's going to do it and already know how to do it, because he kind of just copied it from her. So his Sengon and him, Naruto and Jiraiya's Sengon clash, and Jiraiya can't tell that Naruto's Sengon is on his level. But then Naruto decided to infuse Wind Release into it and completely destroyed Jiraiya's, and Jiraiya had to move before he was killed. Naruto infused it with fire, and then water as well. And lightning, too. And then Naruto also made a Rasen Shuriken. And Jiraiya was amazed that Naruto had all these variants of Rasengan. And this Naruto told him don't tell his mother, because she'll try to question how he got this strong. So with this, Jiraiya didn't know what to teach Naruto besides Sage Mode, and brought Naruto to Mount Mimboku and training him with Sage Mode. And Naruto had learned Sage Mode in the span of around an hour. So, yeah. He learned perfect sage mode in an hour, so it was that easy for him. So yeah. Then Naruto's began training sage mode and began enhancing his own abilities with sage mode. In the whole like Toad song genjutsu that Jiraiya has, like the strongest genjutsu in the series, well, that's Infinite Tsukuyomi and Tsukuyomi. Naruto just learned how to cast that in its base form without sage mode. So yeah, that's just how strong Naruto has gotten over the span of 1 month with Jiraiya. When he came back, well, his chakra reserves seemed to have increased in pressure. But so for like the last week of training that they had, Naruto would be talking to Kurama and being getting along with Kurama, even asking his name, which Ninetales has never been asked. But Naruto and the Ninetales began talking a bit more, and the Ninetales had let Naruto know his name is Kurama. Naruto eventually had torn the Toy off the Ninetales, and with that, him and Minato began talking, and Minato does understand that Naruto's doing and how strong Naruto's gotten. As Naruto says, he's made multiple variants of Rasengan. He's made like 4 or 5 variants. He's a perfect sage. He's stronger than Jiraiya is. And Minato just smiled at that, saying, "Well then, I think you're more than capable of fighting the Ninetales." As Naruto says he's not fighting the Ninetales, him and the Ninetales came to an agreement. Naruto can use 6 tails, and when he needs to, him and the Ninetales will have more of a mental battle, and he can get the other 3 tails. And Minato nodded, and there's also just Minato off his back, and Minato may have thought wrong with the Ninetales. But Naruto is lending Naruto all his power. Him and the Ninetales got along that well. Which means Naruto can perfectly turn into a full-grown Ninetales. He doesn't have KCM yet. He doesn't know about that. But yeah, but he can turn into a full-grown nine-tailed fox. He also summon Kurama, and he can just turn mold chakra into Kurama, and Kurama can live in the outside world, but as a small fox, a very small one. If Naruto were to mold chakra to create the Ninetales, this is basically what it would look like, just red. So yeah, it'd be that same size and everything. It would just have red fur. Wait, hold up. Yep, red hair. This is just how strong. This is what Naruto would do for the Ninetales. But yeah, so Kushina walked into Naruto's day for the tuning exam to see a fox laying on his bed, and well, she asked what the thing is. She said first she got saying, "What's that, Naruto?" QB, speak up. The Kurama kept saying, "Woman, get out and let me sleep." Well, that Naruto was standing up, putting Kurama down, saying, "Meet the nine-tailed fox." And Kushina says, "You master the Ninetales." Or nodded, saying, "Yep, I can turn into it too." Put on his clothes, and then Kushina did she see the giant impale wound, not questioning if he's still alive. So yeah. We'll drive outside, and Kushina actually asked Jiraiya if he knew the Naruto master the Ninetales. He says he doesn't know when he did it. He woke up one day to see Naruto in the nine-tailed form, and Naruto's in full control of it. So Naruto did it sometime during the night while they were training. Kushina had heard how strong Naruto had gotten. So yeah. So yeah. But now with this, we move on to probably just Naruto versus Neji in the tuning exams. But Naruto started down at Neji, telling him basically that if Neji were to come at him at his full ability, Neji won't even be able to scratch him either way. But Neji smirked as he went into the second gate, saying, "Try me then." And Neji started full speed ahead, and Naruto just dodges his attack like it was nothing, and threw Neji into the wall by his foot, telling Neji go all out since he's holding back. But Neji yelled, going into the third gate, charging Naruto again, and even punched Naruto right in the face. Or he thought he did, until Naruto just disappeared. And Naruto was honestly sitting on Neji's back, telling Neji that Neji will never be able to catch him if he can't even punch him solidly in the face. With that, Neji suddenly just chopped him side of the head so hard that he passed out. Naruto jumped to Neji's back, and Guy is amazed that Naruto was that fast to keep up with Neji in the third gate, or just outspeed him in general. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, pause. So, yeah. But it's getting Kushina stared at the Kazekage. I'd say why she's giving him such an intense look. Point where Kushina says, "Nothing, she'll be right back." So then she walked down to basically where Gaara, Temari, and Kankuro were, and they asked what the Hokage would want with them. She says, "Your dad may be dead." We just confused them, asking if she killed him. He says, no, that's not your dad up there. That's his child completely different. It reminds me of one of the Sanin, like Orochimaru, like a snake. Gaara immediately realized what was probably happening, and Gaara he didn't care about his dad, but he didn't know his siblings did, and basically told told Kushina the whole plan about how they planned to kill, they planned to kill the Hokage with, help over Orochimaru and take over Konoha. But, their dad's been acting weird the last few days, and they think Orochimaru may have just killed him. Kushina nods, then immediately pointed at Naruto, telling him, Naruto, kill the Kazekage. Naruto nodded, suddenly a chain is shot right at Orochimaru. Naruto thought he could dodge this, until he realized it's moving beyond light speed, and he slammed right into his side. Then the chain would just shoot out flames, and burn off Orochimaru's disguise, as he would land, and everyone could tell that's now Orochimaru. Naruto was smirking, as he lowered his chakra to his max level, and Jiraiya sensed it. Jiraiya immediately appeared next to Naruto, and Kushina is questioning how he was that fast. And Jiraiya says he didn't train Naruto one bit, he trained himself. And that training consisted of a little bit of sealing jutsu, as he held up a flying Raijin kunai. And then Jiraiya went in perfect sage mode, and Naruto did as well. And Naruto did realize immediately that he's fucked. So, yeah. Naruto and Jiraiya appear right in front of him, and they both miss their punches until they both say Frog Kumite. And with that, both of these just get sent flying completely through the Konoha barrier, and he gets sent flying almost a whole mile away. Now, with that, Orochimaru's knocked out, and the sound and sand do come out and attack, only for Gaara to just yell all the sand shinobi to stop and kill a sound shinobi. And the sand shinobi obey Gaara, as he's the last one left, apparently. So, the sand shinobi all kill the hidden sound shinobi. Kabuto can't even get the jutsu off for the genjutsu, so he just ran and grabbed Orochimaru with the sound 4 and ran away. But Naruto told his mom to just let them go. If they come back, he'll make sure to finish the job off. Or Jiraiya can finish off Orochimaru. He'll kill everyone else, though. And Jiraiya nodded, as he thanked Naruto for warning him. So, yeah. But now with this, we move on to Team 7. So, Team 7 is probably just going into the whole search for Tsunade. Honestly, because, Hinata has really bad damage still, and her Neji went all out, and they're basically destroying each other. And then Neji's body still wasn't fully healed, and he used 3 gates all at once, so his body was also pretty destroyed too. So just for those two, they need Tsunade. Then Itachi and Kisame are back in the village. Not Itachi and Kisame. Kisame's in the village with, I would say, would be a good Akatsuki substitute for Itachi. Let me check this real quick. Actually, I could honestly see Orochimaru coming back to the Akatsuki after this, because some 13-year-old boy almost killed him, and he then told them that the hidden leaf is where the hidden sound is available, they don't know who rules it, so the Akatsuki can use the hidden sound as their own hideout if they can't use wherever Nagato is, or wherever Pain is. And then Akatsuki agreed to this, as Orochimaru also says that he also killed the 4th Kazekage. That shows how strong he's gotten during this time. So they agreed to that. He even offers up Kabuto, the Sound 4, or Kimimaru. But he also Kimimaru in the situation that Pain would heal him, and Pain agreed, as he threw Kimimaru in the King of Hell, and Kimimaru is healed. So we have full power Kimimaru now. So yeah, this kind of just saved the Sound 4. The Sound 4 kind of just saved everyone. Well, not saved it. It didn't save anyone good, but yeah, the Akatsuki now have the might of the hidden sound. They have Orochimaru on their side. They have the hidden rain on. They have basically 2 really strong villages on their side now. So yeah. But yeah. And with this, Gaara is elected Kazekage because he changed the tide of the whole Konoha crush immediately. But Naruto also offered to make Gaara a master Jinchuriki. Shoku immediately came to Gaara asking Naruto if he can make that happen if he has any master the Nine Tails. Only Naruto hold up a small fox saying this is Kurama. And Kurama spoke showing it was really Kurama, which shocked Shikaku, but yeah. With this, Naruto ended up bringing Gaara and Shikaku over to basically just, I would say that whole Uzumaki shelter thing, with the Uzumaki, I would say the whole thing where all the masks were. Naruto brought Gaara and Shikaku there, and kind of activated one of the seals there. And we turning Gaara to master, basically just Shukaku. Gaara spent roughly around a month there before he came out as a perfect Jinchuriki. But during this time, Kakashi would still fight against this time it's Orochimaru and Kisame. But as they fight, Orochimaru and Kisame do fight in perfect unison because, well, because Orochimaru says he'll do whatever Kisame says. I mean, Kisame and him get an understanding about that. But they fight against Kakashi and everyone else. Kakashi's also a bit stronger because he trains with Kushina, and Kushina have been actually talking about a few jutsu this role is healing. But he still lost, but Kakashi in power is worthy of around 5, 6 gates of Guy's power. Like, Kakashi and Kisame are pretty equal or close in power. Well, probably not, because Kisame would make Guy probably use the 8 gates if he went all out. But yeah. But Orochimaru added in, but also overwhelmed Kakashi. But as Orochimaru and Kisame retreat, Itachi and Kisui both arrive, and Kakashi was honestly pretty beaten up. So yeah. So Kakashi was pretty close in power to Kisame, but still wasn't able to beat him, and was beaten pretty badly by Kisame. So yeah. Then Orochimaru also beat up other members of everyone else that was there, so they need to heal this. But yeah. Now we go on to Tsunade being brought back, but mainly just by Jiraiya, and I would say I don't see Naruto going really, but I could see like Jiraiya bringing along well, the Sound siblings have nothing better to do during this time, and the Saiyan siblings have nothing better to do. They want to help their allies now. And the Hidden Saiyan would actually want Gaara back as soon as possible because he's becoming a perfect Jinchuriki. They'd have a perfect Jinchuriki like the hidden Cloud and Hidden Leaf do. So they'd actually approve of this. So it sounds the Hidden Saiyan team would go with or it's the Hidden Saiyan siblings head with Jiraiya to go find Tsunade. Not just questions, but that's when Jiraiya says, "Oh, our alliance kind of restarted recently." So he also tells Tsunade that Orochimaru rejoined the Akatsuki, so they have to solve that right now. But yeah. So yeah. Starting with Konoha and heal Hinata and Neji mainly, but also Lee. But she does actually ask about how Kushina became a Hokage, and she hasn't heard about a lot of things recently. But Jiraiya basically describes what happened to he describes what happened to like basically just how Kushina trained so hard to suppress Minato, and she did. So yeah, that's Tsunade and like Kushina do fight just for Tsunade to test her, and Kushina was able to defeat Tsunade. But Kushina actually asked Tsunade to teach her the monstrous strength that she has and the healing, and Tsunade agreed. But then Naruto actually spoke up in the middle of this. Tsunade does like Kushina, that's her son. Kushina would nod and say that he's the one that surpassed Jiraiya and probably her too. So yeah. But Naruto spoke up, asking about the girls in basically the Konoha 12 now, and basically talks about Tenten, Ino, Hinata, Sakura, all of them. Can they train with her as well? Tsunade can basically spark a whole new generation of shinobi that can in the Hidden Leaf. They'd be trained by the Hokage and Tsunade. They'd be the strongest shinobi around. And well, Tsunade and Kushina both like this idea, and they agreed. Well, everyone else will basically be trained by anyone else around. So yeah. So with this, well, Sasuke probably won't go over to like. Actually, no. This would be better. Sasuke goes over to the Orochimaru. He'd be trained by all members of the Akatsuki possibly, or ones that would approve of Sasuke, which would probably include Obito, because Obito would admire Sasuke's drive to get stronger than Naruto. But also, Sasuke has somewhat of an inferiority complex to his brother Itachi, and his dad Fugaku. I can see Itachi I can see Sasuke heading over to the Akatsuki side, because he's picked up by Kisame and Orochimaru. Wait, Itachi isn't sick in this one. I think the disease may have just been something that happened on the mission with the Akatsuki or something. So I can see Itachi still being sick. But yeah, so Itachi basically jumped in because he sensed Sasuke about to leave the compound late at night, and sensed two very evil like presences. But as Itachi basically jumped out in the middle of the night, very very tired and still sick. Well, he's attacked by Kisame, and him and Kisame fight. It's a pretty one-sided battle, but well, one, Itachi has no Mangekyo Sharingan. He's still really strong, but not as strong as he is in canon. So this one, him and Kisame maybe more equals than Itachi being stronger. When Itachi sort of has like a whole like coughing fit and coughs up blood, Kisame respects Itachi enough to actually leave him alone if he's sick, and he leaves. But Itachi would pass out on like the compound floor in the compound door. I go find them in the morning. They can't find Sasuke. And ask Itachi why he's out here. Itachi basically yells, "You'll see Katsuki took Sasuke." And he gets up, pulling out a sword again, saying that he's going to kill every last one of them. He's like on a war path. And just enraged and worried for his brother, he awakens his Mangekyo for the first time. But he had Sugaku saw the blood pooling around around Itachi's mouth, but not seeing any bad injuries on him, besides like a few bruises on his arms and his side, but not enough to cough up this much blood. So before Itachi went too far, he shot him back in the neck by Fugaku, and Itachi's left with Tsunade. So yeah. Well, this is going on 12 are assembled, and they're sent to go after like at least they probably won't be sent after them because the Katsuki, and try to advise against it, by saying that probably only Naruto and Gaara should go because Gaara's about to leave. So that Naruto and Gaara leave, so you got to attack the Katsuki, and Gaara is a perfect Jinchuriki, so yeah. Plus he can use a lot more sand. And Naruto also taught Gaara how to use most of the 5 chakra natures, so Gaara's power is just peaking at this point. Like, Gaara is stronger than he is in the war arc. So yeah. Which means he can beat Rasa, and Gaara at this point is like 12 years old, because he's like a year younger than Naruto. But with this, we go on to probably just them finding, like, Naruto and Kisame still running. But as they're about to attack, mainly Gaara just uses sand because it's a long-distance ability. Suddenly, Kimaru would appear and make a curse mark wearing a Katsuki cloak, and basically slash Gaara across the side. Gaara would immediately healed as Gaara went into the One-Tail's cloak, and began fighting against Kisame. Not Kisame, against Kimaru. In this form, Gaara and Kimaru are a bit close in power, but Kimaru is still stronger. But it's enough to close their bridge in power. While Naruto then charged full speed ahead as he actually transformed it into 8-Tail's cloak, and as he's running full speed ahead, he eventually even tried to tell the Beast Bomb as Kisame just held out Samehada, and Samehada had eaten it. Samehada would eventually, not explode, but the blast would basically just blow up inside Samehada, and actually the force of it just broke Kisame's arm immediately. But then Naruto ran like even faster. At this point in this form, Naruto is about as fast as he would be in the war arc in KCM 2. So he kind of ran from Kisame and punched him right in the gut so hard that Kisame threw up blood. But he was looking around, and Sasuke's gone, and asked for where Sasuke went. But was working, saying he passed Sasuke off to someone else. He doesn't know how far they got. They're stronger than him, so they went farther away. And there was one that Sasuke was Obito, or Toby. And Toby has some ability to phase through objects and matter. But honestly, Obito just left Sasuke in the Kamui dimension, and then just went to the Katsuki hideout in the Hidden Sound. Naruto realized this mission was pointless, and was saying he's letting them live for today. Yeah, but eventually he will kill them both. Now with that, Naruto pulling out a long sword and slashed the air so hard that Kimaru was hit by this blast of air, and he's almost cut clean in half. But Curse Mark kind of healed him a bit, and Gaara walked away asking us about Sasuke. Naruto says that someone took Sasuke before they got here, and it's not them. So with that, Naruto and Gaara head back to Konoha, and Gaara heads back to the Hidden Sand, but yeah. And Gaara becomes as a Kage, like the next week, but Team 7 is just there cheering on Gaara. Now with this, we go on to the 3-year time skip. Now Naruto this time actually ended up going out to just traveling really. He just wanted to travel by himself. Well, not even by himself. He brought Jiraiya with him. And eventually, Gaara is like they met up with Gaara for a bit. Gaara explored outside the Hidden Sand for a bit. Gaara was actually brought to Mount Miboku and learned how to passively take in nature energy. It's actually kind of just to give him a bit of an extra battery. But this time, Naruto and Jiraiya both had found Ryuchi Cave, and they went in to become snake sages. With Jiraiya's body already become a perfect sage, when he's bitten by the white snake sage, he became a perfect snake sage immediately, and started Naruto. And so they're stacking basically every ability they have to beat Orochimaru. Like, Jiraiya can already do it, but they're stacking their abilities just to be extra careful. And Naruto himself actually told Jiraiya that Jiraiya should stay at Ryuchi Cave and just train his max ability. And maybe befriend old grumpy Manda. So, yeah. Naruto headed to the Hidden Cloud by himself. Walks into Cloud Gates, and Naruto looks just like this at this point. Like, just looks just like that. Just take away Sage Mode, he's not using Sage Mode. Plus his hair is white, and he has the whole red stripe. But when nothing gets to the Cloud, Raikage would arrive, questioning who Naruto is. And Raikage arrived since the powerful chakra coming from Naruto. But he arrived with Yugito and B. Naruto bowing, saying his name is Naruto Uzumaki. He's a daughter of the not daughter. He's the son of the Hokage of Kushina Uzumaki. He's her son. And then says he actually came here to meet Killer B and Yugito. Killer B and Yugito do ask why, but he says he's a perfect Jinchuriki too, the Nine Tails. And says that the One Tails Jinchuriki recently became a perfect Jinchuriki as well. He would like to spar his tailed beast to see where he would fare, as he can already beat the One Tails. Killer B turns into the Eight Tails, telling Naruto like just don't regret this if you die. Naruto nodded, and then Yugito turned into the Two Tails with Naruto. Not Naruto, but turned into the Two Tails. And Naruto isn't going to go into just like KCM or anything, because he has KCM 1 and 2 mastered. But at this point, Naruto, not knowing it, I'd compare this Naruto to like just possibly close to Baryon mode Naruto and Boruto. Which is how strong he's gotten during these 2 years. Well, that's not good. That's not good. I guess keep an eye out. I don't know what to say about that. But yeah, so Naruto is close to Baryon mode, adult Naruto and Boruto. But yeah, so Naruto fights against the Eight Tails and pretty easily beats him, and then fights against the Two Tails at the same time and easily beat her with one hand. So yeah, now A is just amazed at the strength of Naruto as he just manhandled the Eight and Two Tails. So yeah, but A even charges Naruto in the Lightning Cloak, and Naruto had basically caught the punch of Lightning Cloak Killer B, and then twisted it and then kind of headbutted him so hard that he passed out. So when he headbutted A had passed out. But I'm not about apologizing them, as he just healed them both. With them both being healed, move on to probably just, I would say, not to make Konoha at the end of the 2 years. And he even fighting any Jinchuriki he can or defending them. Thus he basically saved he saved Roshi mainly. He couldn't find Han. But yeah. But Roshi also got a bit stronger. But now you move on to, I would say, probably just the main. Again, like when it came to Datara versus with Akatsuki growing in size with the whole village at their disposal. Let me find this real quick. So I rearranged the Akatsuki teams. All the Akatsuki travel in teams of 3. So basically Team Kisame would basically be Suigetsu and Kabuto besides him. Kisame, Suigetsu, Kabuto. Then there's Datara, Sasori, and Sakon, plus Ukon. Hidan, Kakuzu, and Guren to grow the crystals. Kakuzu also has her other side because she makes crystals that they can sell for a lot of money. Konan, Orochimaru, and Nagato. Then Jugo, Kimimaru, and Karin. Let's see the Akatsuki team. Then Sasuke is honestly there with, like... Well, he's mainly there with Obito and Orochimaru and Nagato. And Konan, those are, like, the ones that train him most of the time. But yeah. So when it came to Kazekage rescue mission, Gaara manhandled Datara, Sasori, and Sakon and Ukon. Like, honestly, just one giant sand spear... one sand drill right through Sakon and Ukon's chest, which killed them. Then it came to Datara. Datara couldn't get past Gaara. Because Gaara knows how to use all 5 natures now, because Naruto taught him 4 of the 5. The one that Gaara didn't learn is literally just not Earth Style. I would say just Water Style from Naruto. And Gaara just used Lightning Style infused with the sand and took down all the clay things that Datara uses. And Gaara even mixes in like gold dust with his sand. He already uses that, so he killed. Like, Gaara's as strong as he is in Boruto at this point. So yeah, so he killed Datara pretty easily. So he killed Datara, and he killed he killed uh, Sakon Ukon. And then eventually he also had defeated Gaara. Took a little bit harder to defeat Sorcery, but Conqueror being a bit stronger as well. Because he trained under Chio most of the time, because Gaara requested that she train under him. Gaara got a bit of leadership skills from Naruto. Conqueror being a bit stronger, and probably actually comparing to Sorcery a decent amount. He fights Sorcery himself, and then when Sorcery is mainly defeated, or all his puppets are destroyed, it just leaves Gaara just appearing and then just like appearing with Tamari, and then Tamari can wipe him out easily. Okay. So, but this kind of just ends the whole Kazekage rescue mission, leading on to the whole Tenchi Bridge thing, which probably won't even happen because they work together as the Nikatsu. There's no Tenchi Bridge mission. But Gaara kind of got info recently about Tenchi Bridge, and they began investigating the area surrounding it. So yeah. And during this time, they actually found one of the old hideouts, and they found it. Well, it wasn't really anything. It's kind of empty. Like, it's been empty for a few months. But they investigated and found out traces of Sasuke, and everyone else has been there. But yeah. We can move on a bit past this to, I would say, what would be the next arc? But, all right, where do we speedrunning the arcs off this? So Kasuke expression, it would be Hidan Kakuzu and Gurren versus Asuma and Shikamaru. But because Kasuke travels in groups of 3, plus Naruto's kind of hunting down members of the Akatsuki that he can find, he came with them at this point. Well, he has Zabuza and Haku spread out somewhere else, trying to infiltrate groups as well. He's not with Asuma and Shikamaru at this point, but here they're trying to go attack some members of the Akatsuki. So he's been kind of tracking them while he's on a mission already. As they fight, before Asuma was killed by Hidan, Naruto finally appeared, taking the whole spear thing, or rod from from Hidan, throwing it right at Gurren, and that killed her. It went right through her head. Then he throws Hidan out of the whole circle and just turns him into dust. That's all he does, and then just sinks him in a giant hole and leaves him there. But Shikamaru is pretty easily pushing back Kakuzu. Him and Kakuzu aren't equal, but they're still both really strong. But Naruto honestly just bit his thumb, had thrown his hand on the ground, yelling wind style, great tornado. And as a great tornado blew away the whole area besides anyone else behind Naruto. And that, by blowing away the tornado torched Kakuzu to shreds. So yeah. Retail's arc, not gonna happen, that's not canon. Itachi's pursuit mission, not gonna happen. Kakashi Gaiden, sure. Tail Dragon the Gallant. When Dragon infiltrates infiltrates the Land of Lightning, he went through the Hidden Sound first and beat literally every shinobi there, and came out with one scratch in his cheek. But then he headed all the way on to he just headed to the Hidden Rain. So Dry just went straight into Hidden Rain after this, and it wasn't really a hard fight. He beat everyone. He even beat Konan in seconds. And then when it came to the summoning animals, Dry can beat those no problem. Then eventually it did lead to him fighting Orochimaru, but Orochimaru just got disrespected insanely hard. It wasn't even fun. Dry is beaten into the Orochimaru's beaten into the dirt with Dry just in his base form. You can him versus Nagato and all Paths of Pain, and Dry just combined Snake Stage mode and Toad Stage mode, and Orochimaru was shocked that Dry did that already, as he became a Snake Stage before Orochimaru, and he beat everyone. He beat Nagato easily. But Dry did tell Nagato that Nagato shouldn't really, continue living. That's all he's going to do. And Nagato did say that he did he had time to reflect while Dry's making his way there, and did say he does regret his decisions. And then Dry had killed Nagato. As Dry walked out, he looked at Konan, telling her to bury Nagato. He's seeking Orochimaru, as he grabbed Orochimaru by the hair and left. So yeah. But Itachi also is fully healed because of Tsunade and Kushina, and Sakura even. But as Itachi had found Sasuke himself, she's helping a little bit. Sasuke and Itachi do fight, and Itachi is a more one-sided fight than he thought, as Sasuke is pretty strong compared to him. Sasuke doesn't have Mangekyo, but Sasuke grew in power because he's trained by Pain, Konan, Orochimaru, and Obito. But before Sasuke is able to kill Itachi, Shisui would intervene using his own Susanoo, and use a drill to actually stab at Sasuke, actually taking off one of Sasuke's arms. But then Itachi would basically end up basically just using one of his Susanoo arms to punch Sasuke right in the ground, then use one Gekyo on him and just knock him, just put him in a strong genjutsu. It didn't really work out too well because Sasuke broke out of it not long after, only to get punched Tsukuyomi by Shisui. Would have taken away one of Shisui's eyes for a while. But with that, Sasuke would go back to Konoha, and Shisui would cancel out Tsukuyomi. So, yeah. But now Sasuke just in Hidden Leaf Prison. There's no Pain Assault arc on Konoha, but we do have Deidara, Sasori, Sakon, Ukon are dead. Hiron's dead, Kakuzu's dead, Guren's dead, Nagiso's dead, Konan abandoned the Akatsuki. Leaving Suigetsu, Kisame, Kabuto, Jugo, Kimimaru, Karin, so a little bits of the Sound 4, and Obito to attack Konoha. This will be the final arc of this story. So yeah. Now with this, they all attack Konoha. All the ones that are named like Jugo, Kimimaru, Karin, Orochimaru, Kisame, all of them. They attack Konoha, and Kakashi would actually confront Kisame, and then Kabuto is confronted by, shockingly, well, I would honestly say someone like, wait, I forgot which one's captive. Yeah, Kabuto's confronted by, I'm gonna say Zabuza. Actually, no. Let's say Kakashi would face off against Suigetsu and Kabuto, and Kisame is confronted by Zabuza. They're both sort of in the mist, and Zabuza trained a lot with Guy and Kakashi during this time. He even learned Ice Release from Haku. So Zabuza at this point is equal to Kisame. So Zabuza and Kisame fight. It's a pretty hard fought battle, but he still wins by actually cutting off Kisame's arms and then cutting off his head. But at the end of the fight, Kisame kind of had something how to bite off one of Zabuza's arms. But Kisame's still dead. But with that, Zabuza would stab the Kubikiri Butcher into the ground and pick up Samehada, and swing it around and just eat random members of the use Samehada to eat random members of the Hidden Sound and the Hidden Rain. And he also does go inside Samehada to heal himself as he comes out not long after with just one arm fully regrown. Kakashi easily killed Kabuto with just a Chidori by cutting his head off with it, and then just using electricity to knock out Suigetsu. Now we came to Jugo. It was honestly just Naruto and Jugo with just a strength battle, and Naruto was easily overwhelming Jugo. Well, Jugo's going all out, and Naruto's using one finger to hold off Jugo's power. And Naruto just used a chain to completely obliterate Jugo's body. Jugo's whole body is destroyed with this one chain. Well, not completely destroyed, but Jugo has a giant hole through his chest now. This will take a long time to regenerate. But Karin had Jugo bite her, and then he healed. Kimaru had fought against, I'm going to say, Hiruzen. And Kimaru, who was not fighting alongside anyone. It was just Danzo and Hiruzen versus Kimaru, who's at full health and a lot stronger than he was before. And shockingly, these two proved to be exactly equal to Kimaru. But eventually they do beat him. It was a pretty hard fought battle though. And Karin was stared by Kushina, and Karin just sat down saying she submits. But all that's left is Obito, and Obito would fight. Well, not fight anyway. He kind of just breaks Orochimaru out of prison. But he's broken out. He fights Haku and kills Haku. But suddenly, in Mr. Konoha's destruction, they all hear a loud yell, as Obito couldn't see whoever's yelling, only to be punched in the face and sent flying to a full 360. With that, Obito hit the ground holding his mask as half of it was blown apart, wondering what the hell just hit him. He looks in Killer Bee in a lightning cloak, and Killer Bee is also in the Eight Tails form, saying, "Does that come in? Did you fool, you fool?" And Obito is just wondering who the hell this is, versus Killer Bee. Then A was right beside Killer Bee, saying, I knew teaching Lightning Cloak was a good idea. And Yukito wasn't dead at this point. She was pretty badly injured, but yeah. But Naruto stared down Obito before holding up her Rasengan till his mom and Kakashi stopped him, telling him that this Obito used to be a Konoha shinobi. Before Obito can do anything else, he gets some Genjutsu Jutsu placed on him by Itachi, and Itachi is still really good at Genjutsu. Now, the only reason that Sasuke was immune to it is because of his training with Orochimaru. So his mind is just a bit more durable because of just everything he's been through. Obito didn't go through that stuff, so he's not immune to Genjutsu. The best he's just really resilient, while Itachi just really good at Genjutsu either way. So yeah. But Obito's placed on Genjutsu, but not long after, Kakashi would actually ask Kushina what they should do to him. And Kushina says that Obito's crimes, no matter what village he's in, his crimes are his penalty is going to be death. But she thinks it should be dealt by Obito's best friend. Kakashi would activate Chidori, and then we'll cut Obito's head clean off. Now with this, Kakashi is completely destroyed, and like Zetsu has no one else to actually use as a catalyst for anything. And Obito didn't have one Rinnegan. Like Jiraiya hit Konan really well. he honestly just hit her on Mount Miboku and kept her there. But she had to be kept being poked or slapped in the back of the head with a whole stick that made them that made the nature energy go away. But yeah. Now this kind of ends the story for a bit until we get to Naruto the Last. When Naruto would see Hanabi being taken away by the puppets. Literally, just Neji jumps in the air and yells 6-4 palms and destroys the puppets before anyone can even see what happened. And Neji is currently the clan head of the Hyuga. But here in full screen, he knocks it by his side, and they go get the last puppet using an air palm combined that destroyed the puppet completely. We know that landed, and she was pregnant, but it's Naruto's kid. Either way. But yeah. But Naruto appeared catching Hanabi, and looked up at the moon, and as he realized it's getting closer to them. She asked if he should destroy it or leave it be. Neji asked if he can really destroy it, but Naruto held up our Rasengan the size of the moon, and the moon's about to collide into the Rasengan until Naruto just dispersed it. Listen, Naruto actually had an idea. He decided to use those super jumps he has, as he went to KCM1, and then just landed on the moon suddenly, right in front of Toneri as well. Toneri's kind of panicking, wondering how Naruto got here this fast. Naruto asks Toneri why he's bringing the moon towards Earth. Toneri tells everything that Naruto knew about the whole Hamura thing. But Naruto told Toneri that if he's not going to use his power right, he'll kill him. And saying he can obliterate the moon by himself. Toneri told Naruto to try it, instead to use any ability he has, the Tensegan on Naruto. Only have both of his eyes gouged out in a split second. And, yeah. Naruto honestly told us, squish the Tensegan in his hand, and then pummeled Toneri's head over and over again until it was killing him. Toneri eventually just said he submits, and Naruto jumped back down to Earth before using a giant Rasengan and slamming it into not even using a strong Gale Palm, pushing the moon back in its own orbit. And with Tensegan destroyed, the moon just stays in orbit. In his own orbit, so, yeah. Now with that, Naruto would land on the ground, and they asked if he just really physically pushed the moon away. And Naruto did really just push the moon away with his own raw strength in the Gale Palm. Like one small stream of wind and Naruto's physical strength pushed the moon back into orbit. Or into its own force of gravity, whatever, I don't care. But Naruto eventually became Hokage still. And his advisor happens to be Jiraiya. So, yeah. I don't think it'd be Jiraiya. I can see his advisor being Sakura, Shikamaru, or even Itachi. But honestly, because I've never seen him do this in What If, I'm honestly going to say his advisor is Sakura. Because he trained her himself a bit, so. Yeah. So Sakura is his advisor. But yeah. So, Naruto basically just, he became Hokage at the age of 19. He was already Hokage at the time the whole moon thing was going down, but, yeah. She was in Naruto last he was 21, so, yeah, he was already Hokage. And, yeah. We can probably just go on to the Boruto now. Momoshiki and Kinshiki are the only interesting thing, but Sasuke is almost a Rinnegan just through nature. And after Rinnegan, he easily beat down Kinshiki because of just how strong he was from training with Obito and everyone else. But also, him and Tachi both have Eternal Mangekyo Sharingans. And Shisui honestly had kind of just, he kind of just refused to use Mangekyo ever again because how much damage it does. But yeah. But with that, Kakashi actually offered up Obito's other eye to Shisui and he took it. So, Shisui has Kamui now. Well, Kakashi honestly just has Shisui's, Shisui's whole Kodomatsukami just in storage, hiding somewhere. And with this, we move on to Team 7, when they are roughly, I'd say, just Momoshiki and Kinshiki. Sasuke easily killed Kinshiki, but just left Momoshiki alive. And then when it came down to Momoshiki attacking Konoha with that giant tail beast bomb-like thing, Naruto stared at it before holding his hand out, and a giant bolt of lightning shot through his hand and destroyed the whole tail beast bomb thing. And Naruto just showed Momoshiki like he was an inferior creature. So yeah, so Momoshiki just gets like a whole glare that he's not worth Naruto's time. So yeah. Naruto started to actually use the giant, easily basically summon the Reaper. Like, he's not even using Reaper, just the Reaper just appeared behind him as he drew out some of the soul power. And using soul power, he honestly just fired one giant beam of souls that easily killed, um, it easily killed him, killed Momoshiki. And then the next arc would be just Jigen. When Jigen attacked Naruto's house, well, when Jigen attacks Naruto's house, it's not a fight at all. It's a one-sided slaughter. And Naruto, at the age of 16, was already close in power to bury Naruto. Was close to burying Naruto in his base form. Naruto's got a lot stronger in base form. He can push the moon back into orbit with his bare hand. Plus, Naruto's is like 8 feet tall for no reason. Just other than that, other than the fact that Tyr was like 8'5". But yeah, so he just beats down Jigen by himself. Eventually, he put Jigen like a chokehold and almost tore his head off. But Jigen eventually was able to trick himself in a retreat. And when he retreats and comes back as Ishiki later on. Well, when he came back as Ishiki, it didn't make a difference. He was still beaten down, just even worse this time. And Naruto isn't even powered up stage mode or anything, just beating down Jigen in his normal form. Or Ishiki at this point. But Naruto decided to use Berserk mode as he never uses that at all. And when he did use it, well, his rage was pushing buildings to the ground. He just charged full speed just right behind Ishiki, and Ishiki's body just blew up. Just because Naruto charged right through him. Or not Naruto charged into him, Ishiki's body was blown apart and killed. So yeah. But Ishiki he thought he could avoid this until like his body's blown apart, and Naruto's not holding out, but just holding Ishiki's eye in one hand. But he didn't know what to do with it, and honestly, he didn't know who he'd give it to. He honestly just thought of putting the eye in his own head, but his golden eyes help him a little too much. Honestly, also Tsuki also get a bit stronger by honestly eating eyes for some reason. Like Urshiki took out his own eyes and ate it and got a lot stronger. And Naruto basically is a reincarnation of an Otsutsuki, plus he's a god in general. So I can see him eating not his own eyes. I see him eating Ishiki's eye and getting stronger from it. But yeah, when Naruto did eat this eye, his power peaked, and well, he started war with Kara. And we have like Code and Konoha to fight Naruto to see how strong he is. Code even has no limiters on. But Code is just being beaten into the ground with Naruto using just 1 foot. So yeah. But Naruto also got the ability to just kind of just change his height even more and was able to shrink down to like the size of an atom. And just ran all through Code's like atomical structure until he just knew he was in the brain. But then he honestly expanded his hand size and crushed Code's brain. And that killed Code. Code's dead just from that. And then we have everyone else. We're like when you hear that kid that can like reflect damage, Naruto didn't do anything to him besides literally just wrap him in chains, and then find out like following every bit of power that he could just destroy him, and it worked eventually. And Naruto was immune to most of the attacks he was using, so they didn't hurt him at all, and it just hurt the kid, and it killed the kid as well. But and like Ada or whatever her name is, and she's just killed by Naruto easily. Her abilities don't work on him. Yeah, all of Kara is just wiped out by Naruto if he feels like it. Yeah, this kind of just how Naruto's power worked. But what if you guys enjoyed? Like and subscribe for more. Adios.